It's a new day for Carolina football. Or is it?
You don't want none! You don't want none!
What's going on, Tar Heel Nation? It is your favorite North Carolinian, Russ, the Tar Heel. And in this off-the-cuff huddle, we have got to talk about the news that came out yesterday. Gene Chizik and Tim Cross are gone. They got the axe. And first and foremost, I want to say from the bottom of my heart, like man-to-man, legitimately, I have heard nothing but the best about these individuals as human beings, and it's never a good day when somebody loses their job. I heard that they had the greatest relationships with the kids on the team, man, and you want good guys, good people to succeed, and unfortunately, it just didn't work out. And this is a results-oriented business, and let's just be honest with each other. Carolina's defense has been borderline atrocious in the Mack Brown era, period. And that's under Jay Bateman. That's under Gene Chizik. Now, here is the caveat to all this, though. Because, yes, both of them are gone. But then Ted Monachino, he's elevated to the defensive line coach, and they're keeping Charlton Warren. Now, what's interesting is that unless Mack Brown already has the defensive coordinator, lined up, they're just not saying anything as of the time of this video. It's very interesting that you would already have these guys remaining on the staff. And this is what scares me a little bit about this, okay? It didn't work under Jay Bateman. And it didn't work under Gene Chizik. And a lot of people, when Gene was hired after they let go of Jay Bateman, there was a thought of, this is not what Carolina's defense needs right now. The last thing that we need is somebody to come in and play a bend, don't break, just no blitzing or untimely blitzing and just sit back and try to wait for a defense or an offense, to make a mistake. I mean, it's 2024, man. It's 2023 last football season. You can't sit back and wait for quarterbacks to make mistakes. They're just too good these days. They're just too stinking good. So you got to mix things up, and you got to come and get the guy, apply some pressure. And so a lot of people were not excited about the Gene Chizik hire off the jump. And so when he came in, there was mumblings and grumblings, and they have done nothing but escalate, myself included, over the course of the last 2 years, man. It just didn't work out. And the defensive line with the talent, that is one of the areas that we have recruited, probably the best since Mack Brown came back, aside from obviously quarterback. And they have been just almost non-existent, except for Kamen Rucker. And we'll talk about Kamen in just a second because I think he's a good example of what Carolina needs. All right, but we'll get back to Gene Chizik and Tim Cross being fired. So is there or is there not someone in line? Does Carolina already know, which I would hope, as a former businessman, and a very small scale, I would hope that you have somebody line up before you fire the guy in that position. I mean, good night. So I'm sure that somebody's lined up. They just haven't said anything to the media just yet. But once again, what bothers me is that there's already people on staff. And if Jay Bateman didn't succeed and Gene Chizik didn't succeed, what happens if this next guy doesn't succeed? Because what I personally think is the problem, this is the problem. Mack is a great guy. So was Gene Chizik. So was Tim Cross. That's what everybody is stating. He's a great guy. But the type of guy that you are, at least now, coach, you don't need to be involved with the defense. I mean, you need to hire a stinking just rough around the edges, go get them, young, hungry guy that can come in there and motivate people. That's what you need. I mean, a stinking motivator. You be the CEO. You hire a guy and you say, hey, this is your stinking domain. You make it happen. And then you need to put your hands back and step out of the way. And I'm saying that from a fan's perspective. I'm saying that because I think that's what's best for the defense. We want a 96-97 defense. That's what we want. That's what Tar Heel Nation is clamoring for. I mean, we are literally, some would say that we are a defensive line away from being a 10, 11, a 12-win season. But we have got to let the defensive coordinator just come in here, hire the right guy, and just let him run his business. Just let him run his business because it hasn't worked the last 2 times. And I don't know how much that's attributed to Jay Bateman and how much that's attributed to Mack Brown having his hand in Jay Bateman's cookie jar, or how much that's attributed to Gene Chizik and how much that is the Mack Brown, and how much that is, with Mack Brown having his hand in Gene Chizik's cookie jar. I don't know why I can't say cookie jar today, but anyway, in their cookie jar. Take your hands out of the cookie jar, get you an animal to run that defense, and put your hands back and step aside and let him work, period. That's what we want, because, period, we don't need, the nice guy to play defense or to be over the defense. No, defense is mean. It's ferocious. It's relentless. Obviously, within the confines of the game. You got people that figuratively want to hurt other people within the confines of the game. Obviously in the course of legally tackling, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But, I mean, you got to have a certain mentality to play on the defensive side of the football, man. It's a us versus them. It's not another yard. This is our house. I like those things that I've seen, like some before these guys run out onto the field. I don't even think North Carolina has these right now. Something that as you go and you touch it on the ceiling or something. What have you done for North Carolina today? I will give my all for North Carolina today. That's what we need. That's the mentality that we need. You're not going to touch our end zone. No. That's what we need. We need somebody that is going to raise up some dogs. That's what we want. Not a nice guy. Don't hire a nice guy. Please, coach, please don't hire a nice guy. We need a bad guy. That's what we need to coach the defense. That's what we need. So until Carolina gets that, it's going to be the same old, man. And we're going uphill now. Because I feel like the talent that's on the current roster, or at least the roster that's going into 2024, it's not complete. It's not like bare cupboards or anything like that. That's not what I'm trying to insinuate. But we are in no way, shape, or form, where we were 2 or 3 years ago. It's different. We've lost some luster. We've lost some momentum. And this is going to be it will be a uphill battle for whoever takes this job. But it can be done. You've seen it be done. The mid-late 90s, Carolina had a great defense. And that's what we need, man. That's what we need. Let's get back to that Carolina football, man, that we've all come to know and love back in the 80s and 90s. I mean, look, I don't care if you gotta, put the old helmets on. That's what we want. This mentality right here. That's what we want. We need That mentality, coach. Hey, we want to look good. We want to look good. We want to play good. But we need that mentality. That's what's going to stink and win us some football games, man. And whatever you do off the field, hey, you do you. But on the football field, it's a gladiator sport. It's a bunch of men flying around, trying to take each other's heads off. I need that defensive coordinator. That's what I want. That's what Tar Heel Nation wants. And if you don't want that in your defensive coordinator, then you are the loser that stinking is accepting 6-6, 7-5, 8-4, and you're just ecstatic about it because you are okay with mediocrity. And this is nothing about what Carolina football has been in the past. We're trying to elevate this program to new heights. That's where we want to be. And you need a good defense with the right mentality. And that could change the entire culture of Carolina football. So let me know what you think about this down in the comment section, Tar Heel Nation. Am I onto something, or am I down here on the end of the bench having no idea what I'm talking about? What do you guys think? I'm sure that most people are going to be ecstatic that Chizik and Cross are gone. I understand that. But the caveat to that is, what do you think about Mack already making decisions about whoever the DC taking the job is? He's already got guys plugged in, and this guy, might not even be able to create his own staff. And yeah, Ted Monachino is a legend. I get that. He's coached some great defensive linemen. That's not even what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, almost a micromanager type thing where unless the defensive coordinator agreed, hey, I want these guys on the staff. Yes, I'll take this job and those guys can remain on staff because I trust them. That's fine. Now, hey, that's another thing that we can talk about one day when we find out what in the world is going on. But I'm hoping that this is not Mack refusing to let go. I'm hoping that he understands, hey, maybe I need to just get this guy in here and let him work. So we'll see what happens, Tar Heel Nation. I'm excited about the change, but we won't know until we know. So obviously when Carolina decides who the defensive coordinator is, I will definitely be making a video about that. Like I said, let me know what you think about it down in the comment section. If you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe to the channel, and consider becoming a member of the Huddle Hooligans, because that's what's going to help us build this channel for Tar Heel Nation. I love you guys, and I'll catch you on the next one, baby.